Good evening. Welcome to the top 10 movie edition of Arts, Crafts, and More. And my tonight's guest is Jim from More Sunshine Please. Can you tell us what your channel's about and your shows?
Absolutely. Keith, thanks for having me on. Thank you for the invitation. My channel is More Sunshine Please. I live in Florida, so I have a Disney World-centric channel. I am also a big Disney fan, but I do a live stream weekly on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., and we usually talk about Disney stuff. We have a lot of fun. I have a top 15 list I do every week, and I try to mix it up. And I'm very excited to talk movies with you tonight.
Yeah, we need to thank Dean from the Live Place because he's running this marathon of movies, which started yesterday and it's supposed to go through Friday. And remember to go to the liveplace.com, which is the TV guide of what's streaming on YouTube.
Yes, and I think what he's doing is a lot of fun. And because of you, I realized, hey, I should be doing something myself on my own show. So I'll be touching on something about movies on Tuesday. So I have you to thank as well as Dean.
And let's go ahead and welcome in Donna A. Fallon, Mike Wheeler, and Donna beat you, Mike. So you're kind of getting a little slow.
Hello, Donna, and hello, Mike.
And we need to wait for some more people to come in, hopefully.
I tweeted it out, so hopefully we'll have some people coming in, seeing that. I'm not the world's biggest Twitter user, but it'll get the word out, hopefully.
And please click the like button and share out to social media. And if you're new, click the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications.
Hello, Wendy, and hello, James Ryan.
Hey, Wendy Lou and James Ryan. Welcome in. We're going to have our top 10 movies in a little bit, our list.
Thanks for having me on, Keith. Are we going to, does it matter that my list isn't necessarily in order, or would you like me to put it into an order?
Oh, it don't matter.
Okay. Good. Because that would be difficult for me.
I do even have honorable mentions too.
I have a couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see Wendy is, or who mentioned, oh, my shirt. My shirt is from the TV show Silicon Valley. I got a kick out of this shirt, so I got one for myself. This is their company on the show.
Yeah. And we can go ahead and start our countdown. My number 10 is a DCOM movie, Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie, starring Selena Gomez and David DeLuise.
Mm-hmm.
David DeLuise is the son of the late Dom DeLuise. And Selena Gomez, everybody pretty much heard of her.
Yes.
So what's your number 10?
My number 10, well, let's see. I only have 3 Disney movies on my list, so I'll start with one of those. And I'm a big fan of all the Marvel movies, but I gotta say, I was really happy with the way it all wrapped up with Avengers Endgame. I thought it was a lot of fun. It just it put a bow right on that whole saga, and it was funny, it was touching, it was action packed. It had it all. It was and it was long, so you really got your Marvel's money's worth out of it. It's just I like just about every Marvel movie, but I wanted one for my list, so I'm going to say Avengers Endgame.
Eventually, I want to get into the Marvel movies, and I want to get right back into the Star Wars too.
Mm.
And our viewers can go ahead and list their top 10 in the chat. And then my number 9 is a DCOM movie called Zap, starring Zendaya.
Okay.
When
you say DCOM, what is that?
Disney Channel original movie.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Good. Now I'm in the know. All right.
Yeah, DCOM is Disney Channel original movie.
Okay.
What's your number 9?
My number 9. All right. Let me mix it up here. If that one's 10 for me, I'm going to say, Tim Burton has done a lot of Disney movies, but I've got one on my list from director Tim Burton that's not a Disney property. And back in the mid-90s, he did a movie called Ed Wood, and it starred Johnny Depp and Sarah Jessica Parker and Martin Landau. And it's about Ed Wood, who was a filmmaker in the 1950s, but he was not great, but he had a passion. And he made some of what people recognize as some of the worst movies ever made, but they're a lot of fun to watch because they are so bad. So Tim Burton's movie is about Ed Wood and the story of how he became a movie maker and the movies he made. And he shot it. Tim Burton shot it in black and white. Martin Landau actually won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for it. And I must have seen it when it came out. I think I saw it in the theater 3 or 4 times. I really liked it. So I thought it deserved a place on my top 10 list. So I'm going to go with Ed Wood as my number 9 movie.
Okay. Welcome in Caitlin, Make It Blue. She's one of my mods too.
Hello, Caitlin.
James Ryan's favorite film is Casablanca.
Classic.
And
I've only seen that once. I've only seen Casablanca one time.
I think I haven't seen it. And Wendy Lewis' Labyrinth.
And,
I
don't know if I've ever seen that. I don't think I have. That's the one with David Bowie and the Muppets.
Yeah.
Or Muppet-like characters. Yes.
And Donna Fallon is Gone with the Wind.
That's one I've never seen.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one? Have you seen Gone with the Wind?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're at number 8.
All right.
My number 8 is a DCOM movie. Well, it's a movie and a sequel to it. Teen Beach Movie and Teen Beach 2. Starring Maya Mitchell and I can't remember the guy's name that played in Austin and Ally on Disney Channel. Oh yeah, Ross Lynch. That's who it is, Ross Lynch.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
And it's kind of neat when they in the first movie they went into the movie. They went into a movie. They transported it into a movie through a storm in the ocean, and then they had to work their way back to reality, and then the sequel, Teen Beach 2, the friends that they made in the movie came to reality, and they had to try to get them back.
I've never seen it.
And what's your number 8?
Let's see. My number 8. I'll go with my favorite comedy ever. And this is, I think it came out in 1980. It's a movie called Arthur with Dudley Moore.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
And Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
And John Gielgud. And Arthur is a playboy, heir to a vast fortune. But Dudley Moore is so good, so funny in this movie. And I must have watched this movie 20 times. And especially when it was on cable quite often when I was growing up. So, John Gielgud plays his butler Hobson, who is dry and hysterical. And it was like no movie I had seen before that. And unfortunately, the director of the movie passed away. That was the only movie he ever directed. I sadly, I don't even know what his name is. But he made his one movie was a great one. And it's one of my favorites. I never saw the remake with Russell Brand, but the original is a classic. So that's number 8 for me.
And my number 7. Let's see what James Ryan says. His next pick would be Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, a Frank Capra film starring Jimmy Stewart.
I've seen that.
And my number 7 is a DCOM version of Adventures in Babysitting. It's kind of like a remake. The original was not a DCOM movie. The original had Elizabeth Shue in it. This DCOM version stars Sabrina Carpenter and Sophia Carson. It's kind of like based on the original Adventures in Babysitting, where it's about these two women that they're kind of around high school age or just got out of high school, and Sophia Carson needed to get some money, so she decided. Well, they were trying to get a job with this artist, and Sophia Carson decided to take up babysitting, even though she had never had any experience, and whereas Sabrina Carpenter had a lot of experience and had these two families, kids that she was taking care of, would generally babysit. So Sophia Carson went with one of them and kind of misled them, and it gets crazy there, especially a rare ferret, sapphire ferret that they have to get away from this guy dealing in illegally dealing in exotic animals.
Now, not being familiar with the original movie, is this anything like the original?
I have never seen the original, but I did like this version real well.
All right.
What's your number 7?
Let's see. Let's go with another Disney one. And this one didn't do very well at the theater, but I love it. I actually I think it's great. It's called Tomorrowland, and it's a movie with George Clooney and Hugh Laurie, and it's really about a future that could be, and it's very aspirational. It is, it's a story. It's a warning about, not destroying ourselves, but it's so visionary. It's directed by Brad Bird, who directed The Incredibles, among other things. And I just think I love the graphics. I love the CGI in it. It's when they go to Tomorrowland, it looks so futuristic and bright and clean and wondrous. Brad Bird has quite the imagination, and he's good at putting a story together. And there's some Disney Easter eggs in there. For example, when they go back to Tomorrowland, you can see Space Mountain in the background, and there's a scene near the beginning of the movie where they're riding the original ride that It's a Small World was based on in the 1964 World's Fair. So stuff like that tickles me. So I don't know why it didn't do as well at the theaters. I don't care though. I love it myself. So I own it. And oddly enough, I think Tomorrowland will be the last Disney movie that they have that will be added to their Disney Plus service. I don't think it's scheduled to be added for over a year from now. So that's unusual, but I own it, so I can watch it whenever I want. But yeah, Tomorrowland is one of my favorites.
Let's welcome in Rachel Loves Disney.
Hello, Rachel.
And Wendy Lou, whose next pick would be Contact with Jodie Foster.
Oh.
And James Ryan says his next pick would be the wonderful Chariots of Fire biopic of the UK's amazing Olympic team in 1924 Paris, a story of the growth of two men in athletics and life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Chariots of Fire was a lightning in a bottle for a while. That was very that held everybody's attention. It was in popular culture with the movie itself won Academy Awards galore, and its theme song was everywhere too, and used to this day in a slow montage effect by other people as well. It's awesome. Good pick.
Donna A. Fallon likes the movie Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. That one has Angela Lansbury in it.
I just recently saw that for the first time on Disney Plus. I'm so happy to have Disney Plus so I can see all these movies.
Yeah. And then Rachel Loves Disney loves Mary Poppins, starring Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke.
Yes. And again, I've recently watched it again on Disney Plus.
Hey, Bill and Lucy.
Hello, MGM Family Travel.
And let's see. If you just got in late, you can rewind and and try to catch up, or you can catch on the replay. Okay, and then my number 6 would be the whole Rocky Balboa franchise, which is Rocky 1 through 5, Rocky Balboa, and Creed 1 and 2. Sylvester Stallone.
Now, I haven't seen the new ones. I haven't seen the Creed movies. How do they compare to the original Rocky movies? And do you like the original Rocky movies more than Creed, or vice versa?
I like the Rocky movies the best. Creed did not get as good of a review as Rocky did, but with Creed, its storyline is where Apollo, the late Apollo Creed's son from a mistress, decided to take up boxing and wanted Rocky Balboa to train him.
Okay.
So I think that's where Rocky's now training Creed's son.
And there were 2 of those movies.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't even seen the last of the Rocky movies. I think I saw the first 4.
Yeah. Donna, what do you mean? You too? What movie?
I'm going to make some changes to my list. Yes. Making some changes.
And I think Donna probably likes a Rocky. If that's what she meant, the Me Too is.
Oh, perhaps.
Yeah. And then my number 5 is a sequels that includes Wreck-It Ralph and Ralph Breaks the Internet.
All right.
That's a Disney movie.
Yes. And those are a lot of fun. Those are fun movies.
And there was a scene in Ralph Breaks the Internet where Penelope got upset at Ralph. She broke that cookie heart. She took that cookie heart necklace from him and threw it over the ledge, and then he went down to retrieve it, and down there you can see derelicted web-based places like GeoCities and AOL.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like the Ralph Breaks the Internet. It was so much fun seeing all the Disney princesses in that movie. That was a pleasant surprise, and they did it really well. The scene where they're discussing about being princesses.
Yeah, there's a scene in Ralph Breaks the Internet that Penelope goes in where the princes are at, and you can see I think Elsa's one of them. Snow White, Cinderella, they're all in there. Yeah, and then when Penelope first got to the Disney place, there is a Easter egg at the top of a certain part is Sorcerer Mickey.
Oh,
He
really?
is an Easter egg.
I was unaware. Cool.
Yeah. Which, of course, he's a hidden Mickey. What's your number 5?
Let's see. I just made a change to my list, so I'm going to say my number 5 movie is one that's part black and white. I see James Ryan is in the chat, and a number of his movies are in black and white. This one is in part black and white. It was released in the late 90s. It's called Pleasantville, and it's about a brother and sister who get sucked into a TV. A mysterious TV repairman gives them a crazy remote control, and they get sucked into a TV. And they're both troubled modern day kids, but they get sucked into the brother's favorite old TV show called Pleasantville. And they have to learn how to cope and live in this black and white television show world.
Yeah, Toby Maguire's in there, and
That's
Don
right,
Knotts.
and Reese Witherspoon,
And Reese
and
Witherspoon, yeah.
yes, they're the brother and sister.
And William H. Macy and
That's right. He's
yeah.
the dad, and the mom is oh man, I cannot think of the actress's name, but she's great. She's great in everything she does. And it'll come to me in about 2 hours. But so you think it's this comedy about, sorry, I just bumped my camera. So you think it's this comedy about them just being trapped in a silly TV show, but it actually becomes so much more than that, because they're in black and white. And when they introduce something new to the people in this TV world, things start to appear in color, and that throws the world of Pleasantville into a bit of a tizzy. So that becomes sort of a what's the word I'm looking for? Not allegory. It's not quite an allegory, but it parallels that of
A reality.
of racism, Jim Crow, stuff like that. Like you see that the people that are in color as opposed to those that are still in black and white.
Right.
And it became very interesting. And the way it was really well done. The acting's great. I thought the story was fantastic. Jeff Daniels is in it as well.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Jeff Daniels,
Yes.
best known as from Dumb and Dumber with Jim Carrey.
Yeah. But it's wonderful. It's funny, but it's just really well done. And so I thought that deserved a place on my top 10 list. I almost forgot about it, but I just added it.
Yeah, and see,
I'm gonna make another change.
my number 4 is Incredibles and Incredibles 2.
Oh, that's good.
And
Where are you? The camera's on me. It's not fair. I'm hogging up all your show. I need to see you.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Incredibles and Incredibles 2's superheroes. They both ended with a cliffhanger. So kind of makes you wonder at the end of Incredibles 2 if they're going to come out with Incredibles 3.
I would love that.
It's a Disney Pixar. And but Incredibles, the first one, they start out at doing their superhero thing. Mr. Incredible gets married to Elastigirl, and then they have a family. but there's a scene where Mr. Incredible did a little mistake when it came to certain crime stopping,
Mhm.
and superhero had a the superhero work was outlawed, and they had to that their secret identity would have to be their only identity. And then Incredibles 2, my favorite part of Incredibles 2 is when the kids were on with the baby Jack
Mhm.
um, on the boat trying to rescue their parents. Um, they were up in this ventilation shaft, and my favorite part is where Jack enlarged himself, make himself look like a giant baby.
Yeah, still Jack, just 100 times the size.
And I also like it that Jack can replicate himself so that he which would make it easier on Elastigirl when he gets old enough to where if she needs help cleaning up the house, she can have as many Jacks.
You're
And
right.
and then I just noticed some people coming in. Welcome in D&G Explorer and Kidani Sean.
Welcome.
And we're having top 10 movies.
Yes. Brought to you by Dean from the Live Place. This was his idea to have a movie week. So anybody that wants to talk movies on their show, which I think is a fantastic idea, and I will be doing the same on my show on Tuesday. But Dean, he's always got these great ideas, so happy to participate in that. And I'm so glad you're doing it too, Keith.
Yeah. What's your number 4?
Are we on 4? I think I think we're on my 5th one. But let me say
okay,
first.
let's do your 5th and then your 4th.
Let me just say I had a Brad Bird movie on my list earlier, and he created The Incredibles, and I agree with you. It's maybe an honorable mention for me, but The Incredibles is my favorite Pixar movie, and I love the aesthetic. I love the some things are super modern, some things are mid-century throwbacks, and it just creates this whole other world, and it's really cool. And I love the score for it. The music is awesome, and I also love the roller coaster out in Anaheim. Is my favorite Disney roller coaster, so it's perfect. Yeah, I love The Incredibles. But 5 on my list. Let's see. All right, I just watched this again. I seem to watch it every year, but it's a classic. It's the very first summer blockbuster, and it really put Steven Spielberg on the map. I'm talking about Jaws.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I must have seen Jaws 50 times, and it's great. And it's seemingly every time I watch it, I see something new. I guess because I've seen it so many times, I can afford to look at other things on the screen. For example, I noticed a mistake in it. I won't mention it here. I might save it for my show. But
Okay.
there was a film flub in it that I never caught before, and I just saw that last time I watched the movie. But it's so well done, based on a best-selling novel by Peter Benchley, and it really it took over the world back in the mid-70s, and there were sequels that came out, but the first Jaws is really where it's at. Roy Scheider's in it. and Richard Dreyfuss, and Robert Shaw. Murray Hamilton plays the mayor. Lorraine Gary is the mom. And it's just classic. And it really did usher in the idea that movie studios could release these blockbusters, or what they hope to be blockbusters, in the summer months. I know so much about this movie. The fact that the shark, famously, the mechanical shark, did not work well at all times. They cut in live action, real shark footage with the mechanical shark stuff, and they did it, seamlessly. There's so many classic parts to this movie. The score by John Williams is one of the best ever. It's my dad loves it. I think maybe that's why I love it. And it's just so entertaining, so much fun.
Jaws will be one of the greatest classics.
Yes. Oh, I did get a haircut. I just got it maybe an hour ago.
Hey, Charlie and Stacy.
Hello, Disney nerd herders. Yeah, I love Jaws, and I watch it every year.
And what's your number 4?
My number 4. Oh, I'll just let's see. I'm gonna number this one. Okay, number 4 on my list is a relatively new movie. Just came out a few years ago. It's called The Martian, and it stars Matt Damon. And it's again based on a great novel. It's he's an astronaut that's on Mars. This takes place in the future, and but it's not futuristic. It's the near future, where a team of astronauts can go to Mars and do some experiments on the surface. But every character is so smart in the movie. It's just so fun to watch because there is humor. It's directed by Ridley Scott, who did Alien and Gladiator and Blade Runner, and he knows what he's doing. But Matt Damon is, through an accident, is left on Mars without a way to contact anybody, seemingly, or the rest of the crew thought he had died, but he didn't. So they left. If they didn't leave, they were in danger themselves. So they had to go, and they thought he was dead. So they couldn't. There was a storm on the surface. Anyway, the rest of the movie, and this might sound like it's long, but it's really well paced. And it's Matt Damon's character being very smart with how he can survive on Mars by himself. And there's a sequence I love, and sometimes I'll play the movie just to watch the sequence. It's a montage sequence set to a David Bowie song, and I don't know why, I just love that scene. And Jeff Daniels is in this one too, and Michael Pena is in it, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. I'm not sure I said his name correctly, but he's in it. Sean Bean is in it, but there's a lot of people in it. It's really an ensemble cast, but and it's really fast moving, even though he's stranded on Mars, which seems like it could that could drag. Ridley Scott knows what he's doing, and he kept it entertaining, and mixing in humor with some setbacks that the character experiences. It just came out a few years ago, but it's in my top 10 list, definitely. The Martian. I love it.
Okay. My number three is a tie between Inside Out and Zootopia. Um, and talking about Inside Out, um, um, sometime back when Disney Movie Insiders was Disney Movies Rewards, I I cashed I cashed in so many points to get Sadness.
Oh, nice.
And and the reason why I like Inside Out is because um, Raleigh's emotions, it, especially sadness, gets her and Joy lost into where the memories are stored, and
Yes.
uh, and they was trying to get back to headquarters
Mhm.
before the whole thing.
Right. Before Riley's beyond the point of no return. I love
Right.
the cast. I love the cast of the voice actors in that. Amy Poehler and Mindy Kaling and Bill Hader. They're awesome. That's a great pick, Keith.
Yeah, and the reason why I like Zootopia is it's animals that's the that the storyline's about, and um, um, Shakira is the voice of Gazelle.
That's right.
There's great voices in that one.
Agreed. I just saw that for the first time a couple months ago. Thank you, Disney Plus, and it was fantastic. We've watched it a number of times since. Yeah, the sloths are awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
um, we kind of joked around saying, how'd you like to be served by sloths?
Mhm. I
They
know.
take practically forever. But in real life, sloths can be slow, but then if sloths want to, they can really run.
Oh, I would hope so. You know, if there's a predator around, I don't know who their predators are, but I would hope they'd be able to move if they wanted to. You know, alligators are slow too until they're not.
Right. And I heard you do not go zigzag when you're running away from alligators because it keeps you in their vision. You just run straight away from them.
Oh, good to know. Here in Florida, that's really good to know.
Yeah. Um, that's a good way to stay out of their sight. What's your number three?
Let's see. Um, my number three is going to be one of the greatest American movies made. It's The Godfather. Um, it's
Oh, Marlon Brando.
Yes, Al Pacino, James Caan. The list goes on. It's I love it. I've seen it countless times, and uh, I even like the third one. Two is a classic as well. I even like the third one, although I haven't
I
seen
need
it.
to I need to get those three. I haven't seen them, but I would like to see them. But I am familiar with Marlon Brando.
Absolutely. He won an Academy Award for that. You know what's funny is he played the elder statesman, the Godfather, the patriarch of that family, and I think he was younger than I am right now. I think he I think he was younger playing that role than I am right now, which is weird to think about. But
Yeah,
it's just the direction of that movie. Francis Ford Coppola. There's so much. Every frame is a portrait. The light the cinematography, the darkness and the light in the frames is tells a story in its own, and there's a lot of artsy fartsy stuff in it that you don't even need to know about to enjoy it, because it's such a compelling story otherwise. And I know of a movie mistake in that I never really hear about, but if I talk about movie mistakes on my show on Tuesday, I'm going to mention it. And but there's so much good in that movie. It's one of the best American movies ever. And it's just again, culture, pop culture takeover when The Godfather came out. I've even read the book, and that was great. So I've always liked The Godfather. I purchased a Godfather poster to hang in my classroom just so I could have it. I also have one for Jaws. But yeah, that's got to be somewhere on my list. So The Godfather is you can't go wrong with that one.
Okay, and my number 2 is a tie between Onward and Spies in Disguise, both Disney.
I don't know Spies in Disguise.
It has the voice of Will Smith and Reba McEntire.
Okay. Is it musical at all? Because they're both musical.
No, it's an animation. It's animation.
But there's no singing or anything, no songs in it?
That I don't remember, but there was a scene that I like. This one kid, after Will Smith's character turned into a pigeon, he said to that kid, "This is strange." He said something like, "I can see you and my butt at the same time." It's because the pigeon's got a 360-degree vision.
Oh, I can. I have seen Onward though. Onward is awesome. I was really liked Onward. That was a great film. I've seen it twice, and so glad they brought it to Disney Plus when they did.
Yeah. What's your number 2?
Number 2, let's see. All right, I'll go with a Christmas movie. And it was difficult. I didn't want to load my list full of Christmas movies, but one I go back to and watch every year. I love It's a Wonderful Life, but I don't watch it every year. It's a long one. But I watch Elf every year.
Oh yeah.
Elf is a fantastic movie. It's on my top 10 list. It's directed by Jon Favreau, who of course went on to direct Iron Man and the remake of The Lion King and the remake of The Jungle Book. He's done a lot of Disney stuff, but before he did any Disney stuff, he did Elf.
Will Ferrell.
Yes, Will Ferrell, who's hilarious, of course, but the aesthetic of the North Pole is so classic, and the fact that they introduced some stop motion animation characters, that's really adorable. It's such a fun movie. The fact that he was raised an elf and then walks into a normal world is funny. The fish out of water story, as it is, and It's a Wonderful Life is maybe my second favorite Christmas movie, but it's a long one, and or it's longer anyway. Elf, it seems to be more in a more travel sized. It's easier to consume in one sitting without having to dedicate your whole evening to. Seemingly,
it also has Ed Asner and Bob Newhart in it.
That's right. The cast is great. James Caan is in that one too. He was in
Yeah.
The Godfather, and Mary Steenburgen and Zoe Deschanel, who we get to
Yeah.
hear sing. And it's Peter Dinklage is in it. Andy Richter, Kyle Gass. Um, who else is there's somebody else I'm thinking of. Amy Sedaris is in it. It's a great cast. It's awesome. It's so much fun. I'm glad I didn't forget about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. My honorable mention, one of them is The Parent Trap, both versions. The original version had Brian Keith and Haley Mills. Haley Mills played identical twins, and then and the remake version had Lindsay Lohan playing as identical twins. Has Natasha Richardson and Dennis Quaid.
All right. I haven't seen the remake. Which do you prefer, or do you like them equally?
I like them equally.
Oh, cool.
And then Freaky Friday, I like the version with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis and the guy that's known as Jethro on NCIS.
I'm unfamiliar. I know the show. I've never seen it. I don't know that guy.
But,
now, I saw the original Freaky Friday. I saw that at the theater, I think.
I haven't seen the original Freaky Friday or the third version of it.
There's a third?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Was it released in theaters, or was it on Disney Channel or something like that?
I think it was in the theater.
Oh. I don't know that one. There's so much I haven't seen.
Well, at least it was reported that there was supposed to be a third version of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And did you mention your honorable mention or
honorable mention? No, but I can.
Okay.
I have a number of them. I made a list of all the movies I could think of. I never really made my favorite movie list before, but it was fun to try to think of stuff. I like Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese, I think needed some place in my top 15 somewhere. And Goodfellas, I think, is his best work. I kind of, as I was making changes to my list, I wanted to match the theme of yours. Yours was so fun, and I've got like Goodfellas. I don't know if that's that gets dark, that gets violent. So I've got another. More recently, Quentin Tarantino made Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's such a talented writer and director, and that was his most recent movie. And what he's been doing lately is rewriting like an alternate history. And this had to do with like the Manson family. And it was so enjoyable to see his alternate history concerning the events that took place. My wife and I we enjoyed that movie a lot.
Yeah.
And what else? Another one. Oh, just as a piece of art, and nothing political behind this, but the movie JFK, directed by Oliver Stone. He introduced some things in there that we hadn't seen widely in movie making, using different film stock and there's a lot of conspiracy theory explaining done in that film, but I always thought that was so well crafted as a piece of art, as a piece of movie making. I thought JFK was really well done. But yeah, so those are my. Oh, and the movie Rushmore. I thought Wes Anderson deserved a place on my list somewhere. So Rushmore with Jason Schwartzman and Bill Murray, they were the two that starred in it. So fun. We love the way that Wes Anderson creates his universe.
With Bill Murray, it's a comedy.
Yes. And it's just a joy. I remember we saw it in theaters, and then back in the 90s we purchased it and we watched it a number of times. We just like the world that Wes Anderson, the director, creates. He's got a specific aesthetic that he uses in his movies, and we enjoy it very much. So those are my honorable mentions, I guess.
Hey, Ron and Meredith. They're going to be my guests November 8th, and Charlie and Stacy's going to be my guests on November 15th.
Awesome. Hello to Philly Crew. Is it time for your number one movie?
Yeah, my number one includes Frozen, Frozen 2, Harry Potter, all 8 movies. That is years 1 through 7 parts. Year 7 is in parts 1 and 2, and including the prequels of Fantastic Beasts 1 and 2.
That's quite a first place tie for you. That's a lot of movies there. Is there one that stands out, or you love all of that equally?
I love those all equally, but the best song that I like was from the first Frozen, "Let It Go," Idina Menzel.
That's a great one. Classic Disney song. I enjoy that also.
What's your number one?
My number one, again, I wanted to match the mood of your list. So I'm going back to a fun movie from my childhood. It's a musical, stars Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, I like that.
Now, I don't know if this is my favorite movie of all time, but you said I didn't have to really put mine in order. So this is somewhere in my top 10. But again, I've watched this movie so often, and it's so fun and funny. And again, they've created this world that doesn't really exist other than in this movie. But Charlie appears to be American, but he lives in Germany with a bunch of British kids. I don't know what's going on, but I don't care. It's so enjoyable. The music is great. Gene Wilder is so irreverent and awesome in this movie as Willy Wonka. Jack Albertson as Grandpa Joe. It's so much fun. Just as a kid watching that movie, it's just a fun house. That Chocolate Factory was just a magical place in its what they created with that movie. Just it stood the test of time. Kids today still watch that movie and enjoy it very much because it's just so fun and really well done. And again, there's a lesson to be learned from Roald Dahl's story. It's a good one.
Stacy, Charlie. Gene Wilder was in the original version called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which was based on the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And Johnny Depp was Willy Wonka in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes, the Tim Burton reimagining, more closely based on the book, I think. But I prefer the original movie.
Yeah. So that makes up our top 10. Your show is Tuesday at what time?
7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, so everybody check out Jim's channel on Tuesday night at 7 Eastern, and subscribe if you haven't already, and remember to click the like button and share out to social media. And
Keith, thank you so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
yeah, maybe I can be a guest on yours sometime.
That'd be very cool. Yes.
Yeah. You have any closing saying you usually say?
Just being silly, I usually say end broadcast.
Have a magical evening and a great big beautiful tomorrow. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.